We can all be a little bit cynical as Egyptians and a little bit critical, but we have to understand we are on the global stage now, right? Egypt is on the global stage as countries to be invested in for technology businesses. You know, I got into VC a long time ago. It was 1997, and I joined a company called Reuters, which I thought was a news agency, but turned out to be a data company. They came to me and they're like, we have a department that's interested in you to do venture capital. I'm like, I have no clue what that is. I'd prefer to do marketing. But I ended up in the VC arm of Reuters based in California in 1998 in the middle of Internet 1.0. Really a fish out of water, couldn't describe me better. What made me fall in love with venture capital was frankly the environment in which VC operates in California in particular. So meeting entrepreneurs who literally walk in the door and say, I failed in my first business, I failed in my second business, and you know why I'm going to succeed this time is because I fixed this, that, and I need more capital to make this happen. And that's shocking, you know, for someone coming from this part of the world where we try to put on a brave face that failure is not, you know, accepted. After 2001, I decided to move on and go do my MBA. So I studied in Boston for a couple of years, graduated, and felt that the best use of my time was to learn how to run and operate businesses. So I ran a business in Europe, I ran a business in the Middle East, and then that became emerging markets. And the last business was out of Washington, DC. It was called Intellectual Property and Science. It's a $1 billion revenue business that belongs to the Thomson family. And I was the president and CEO of that business. Bottom line is the business got exited, and I left Thomson Reuters at that time. And I thought, what do I do now? So this was in Dubai, so we had relocated back to Dubai. And I noticed that the tech scene in the region was really starting to become something. It was noticeable that the entrepreneurs were getting better, the ideas were becoming more relevant. People wanted to build software. I believe entrepreneurs are builders, you know, and that appealed to my engineering side, that appealed to a lot of things. And so I partnered with a lady named Noor Swade, who had set up Global Ventures. And she said, come on as my kind of second partners and help us, you know, build these companies and help us invest in it. We raised capital that took about 12, 15 months to raise our first $50 million fund. And we started investing in businesses that we felt were overlooked by other VCs in the region. And we felt those entrepreneurs could use more global connectivity. So the idea behind Global Ventures was really, how do you connect capital from international sources into the region? I'm in awe of some of the things that are being built. I sat with companies the last few days here in Cairo. They're building software that I think is globally competitive. They're building, you know, tools and businesses that I believe are globally viable. And I think there's a whole host of companies that will become regional and, you know, across Middle East, maybe across Africa. I suspect some of them will even venture into Europe and the US. Telling a story not from the point of view of Egypt, but the point of view of how what you're doing is a global story is important as well. And I think, you know, I can't help but say the swivel story is been told from the view of a global story phenomenally, right? So we all know what, we all talk about how bus and transportation in Egypt is difficult. He told the story from a global perspective, the challenges of commuters, you know, and how they have in each and every country and what he's trying to solve. And I think we've seen the consequence and the reward of that. Personally, as an Egyptian, I'm super excited about what's happening in Egypt, and there are some very significant successes and significant achievements that have happened over the last year that should be celebrated. The credit goes to the entrepreneurs who slogged through the difficult years of lack of capital and so on, but I think they now have everybody's attention.